Hey y'all. Okay, so tomorrow I'm going to be posting about the intersection between art and activism. And so today I just wanted to share a little bit more of my heart behind this post and kind of what led up to it. It's a lot of different facets that kind of led to the stirring of me writing about the intersection of art and activism. And so I've always been struck by how movies and TV and books can relate to all the things that we are going through in society. And I think definitely in the last few years, I've been having a hard time with the polarization that we constantly are talking about because of things like social media and all the ways that each of us are processing our belief systems a little bit differently. And so I've been reading a book for my book club that I'm a part of right now, and it really helped me see how books, movies, media have always been a part of our racial injustices that are present within our society. That's been since the creation of our nation, that those mediums have been used to help either perpetuate certain racist ideas or to actually help perpetuate anti-racist ideas. I had no idea that movies like Tarzan and King Kong and uh, even if you think about Gone with the Wind, how those connected with the beliefs and um, the times that were changing in those periods. And so the book I was reading really talked about and gave kind of all that historical reference, that because I didn't grow up in those eras, I didn't have that information and I just didn't have that understanding. I think it also just really challenged me about the power of art as an activist. I think for me, this blog is a way that I'm starting to really own my creative side, and my writing in adult life has been for academia and has been associated with my career. And so when I started writing for fun, that's exactly when I started my last blog. That's what I set out to do, was just to make it writing for fun again. And so I really am excited about the more I'm starting to view what is my responsibility, as I begin to say, okay, as a writer, as that is my form of art, what responsibility do I possess to share people's stories that might be different than my perspective? Um, I think, if anything, I feel like that might be a part of my calling of uh, being able to gather information about people that think differently, look differently, sound differently, believe differently than me. And, I think a huge part of me in recent years has been challenged by the people who've embraced me for the ways that I'm different. They haven't needed to change my mind, but instead they've just engaged in the dialogue with me about the ways that we think through issues differently. And I think it's been really powerful for some of the friendships that I've had that really took on that ability to care about me and want to know those different pieces of my cultural identity. I think, being a woman, being from the South, from Mississippi, serving as a counselor, educator, being a play therapist, all of these different identities and pieces of me, that each and every one of those groups have its own subculture. And so I've adopted different philosophies from each of those groups and my faith. And so when I sit down with other people, I hope I'm engaging in the conversation and embracing their cultural identity and whatever that means. And so I think the blog is just another way for me to showcase how art is speaking to me in all the different ways that it's highlighting, the racial injustices present in our society, gender equality. I mean, I found myself literally moved to tears watching The Greatest Showman and The Post, the Oscars, having these moments where art and watching it on these big screens with this beautiful music and sometimes awesome dancing thrown in. And yet they're telling a story about creating a home for the outcast, or um, saying that, you know what, women deserve a place in the workplace just like men. And so I know that for each of those movements, there were tons of people who came before me who have made so many sacrifices so that I have the privilege that I have today. And so this post is just really about my passion for how we can use art in both the good and the bad, to serve as advocates for the people and the things that we believe in. And so for me personally, I'm starting to challenge myself of what kind of consumer of art am I? And am I constantly relying on art that is emphasizing the belief systems I already hold? Or am I seeking out art that's challenging me to think about things differently, that's creating a catalyst for me to grow, and really think about others' perspectives and perspectives that I may not agree with. And so as a consumer of art, I'm really starting to think, like, how can I be intentional with consuming art that is different than what I'm used to? And so I'll share a little bit about some of the things I've been trying to expose myself to, but the reality is I would love to hear from you guys. What mediums, or what kind of art speaks to you, that helps you, and then what kind of art are you kind of challenged to maybe be thinking about going beyond your comfort zone, and thinking about what's a movie, a show, a different music genre that would help expose you to a different line of thinking that maybe at one point you wouldn't have been open to even engaging in. And then let's hope that we can have those conversations with people who do engage in that art. And I think that would be the fun part of this, is sitting down with people who that is their favorite music genre, and hearing in what ways it speaks to them, and especially how it relates to their story. So I look forward to hearing from you. Please reach out. You can do so via Facebook, the Facebook group, Instagram, of course, email. I would love to hear your thoughts about this. See you in the comments.